Differently abled, differently.
Inheritance issues and procedures are usually challenging. This becomes worse when persons with disabilities are involved. Take a look.
Until now, persons with disabilities have been overlooked in matters to do with inheritance. This is because a large percentage of persons with disabilities are among the poorest and most marginalized of the global population. Lily Ambido, a counseling psychologist majorly in children, adolescents, and family matters, sheds more light on this issue.
Inheritance is significant transfer of property and other issues of life pertaining to the next generation. It is actually a wide thing, but when it comes to disability, it has some challenges. Disability is wide. There is physical disability, there is emotional, there is developmental, and musculoskeletal disability. How do you base these things on inheritance? It depends on the comorbidity of a person. And normally parents, when they give birth to this kind of children, it is regarded in most of the culture as a taboo or as a curse. And there's this thing called in psychology dabda. There's always denial, there's blame game, there's bargaining and acceptance in disability. So when these children are being brought up, they normally, first of all, in the stages of life, they have something called trauma. Trauma is because they've been labeled in the society, and before, there was no any given category of issues pertaining to their lives until 2010 Constitution. On Article 54, Subarticle 1E, where the government put in place the system to give them time, education, proper infrastructure, and accessibility.
The denial of inheritance is both a social injustice issue and a practice that can no longer be overlooked if persons with disabilities are to be brought into the development mainstream.
When you're giving this inheritance, you need to consider. You don't have to give inheritance that is going to affect the other siblings. And you don't need to give the siblings the inheritance of the people living with disability. That is why there are organizations put in place for these people. If they cannot manage, there's a trust fund for them that helps them. Because you can die young and your child is disabled and they don't know how to go about the property and inheritance. So it's given to the other sibling. Remember, this sibling is a human being. You'll get tired of taking care of somebody. Maybe somebody cannot go to the toilet, somebody who cannot go to school. It will reach a point, it will be a blame game. Nobody will like to take care of them. And on top of that, maybe the parents made a mistake and gave the inheritance to the elder person to take care of this. That is why nowadays when there's inheritance, all the family members must be quoted, their disability, their capability and everything. After then is when the government puts in place how the inheritance is going to be put in place for each and everybody.
Although knowledge about inheritance rights for persons with disabilities is a bit scarce, more awareness should be done to curb this issue.
These extracurricular activities, like now some of them are going outside the country, now they play football, basketball, they have that one. It creates awareness, it gives them that motivation that they also exist and that sense of belonging. Apart from education, there's this sports, you get? There's this idea of dressing competitions they get. They give out their own, you get? So you cannot say that there's no awareness. They've been given equal opportunities. Nowadays you come to a building, there's just terrace for them. There are toilets for them. They have accessibility to everything. So basically what am I saying? There's no marginalization on this. The 2010 Constitution, Article 54, Subarticle 1E, solved the issue.
Lily says that there are a number of factors to consider in ensuring that children or beneficiaries receive their inheritance.
The moment parents give birth to a child with disability, in the first place, that is another trauma. And it can even separate the family. There's normally something called a blame game. If it is the husband, he will tell the wife that where I come from, there are no disabilities. This thing has come from you, so you manage with that child. So what are you seeing there? This child is already denied. And as the child is growing up, they feel it. They deny or they feel it. So basically, what am I saying? They deserve and they need to be taken care of like any siblings. And I believe parenting is also an issue in this. Parents need to know how to parent these people so that it doesn't affect the other siblings, and like favorism should not look like it's appearing there. And parents should not be at loggerheads because of a child born with disability. The family tree, the genogram of the family has to be put in place. The environmental factors, family disputes and issues put together. Vetting is real because family is diverse. Every family has its culture and how they inherit properties. Remember, I might be a disabled and I'm a woman. Some cultures, a woman cannot inherit any properties. So where do you belong from here? You need to be vetted because who will help you? Let's say your parents pass on now. Who will take care of you? So you need to be vetted and put in place for the government to know that you exist, and you should have a number that shows and a card that shows that you are disabled.
While many would confuse inheritance with succession, there is a difference between the two.
Succession is getting property, of one person getting this property for the benefit of the other siblings. Maybe they are underage, they cannot take care of themselves, some are going to school and even this disabled. But the inheritance is about this land property that your father told you. You're going to build there, you're going to build there, and this one is going to build there, and this. Some can even be verbal. You get that village elders witness. But this is a succession when somebody is going to manage all these properties, so that when there's a dispute between these ones that were being pinpointed without any evidence, this person who is given that mandate will say it happened, this is the witness, and this is this, and it's supposed to go this and this.
Despite the challenges related to inheritance for persons with disabilities, Lily says there are government lawyers assigned to such matters.
The challenges are for the parents on how they relate to the children. It is good for the parents to make it look normal, because disability is not inability. It doesn't mean that you will get a big share because you are disabled. You just need to get your equal share. So parents are the ones who are supposed to put this in place for siblings not to be in a quagmire because of the inheritance of the property. When it comes to lawyers in disability, there's nowhere it is quoted in law that somebody who is disabled is supposed to get a higher amount of share of inheritance. There's none. There are government lawyers for those things, unless there's a dispute in family, but they're called pro bono services for the government. I'll just tell them to give them equal opportunity and to be human enough and know they're also human beings. They have emotions, feelings, and everything that a normal person has. So matters pertaining to inheritance, education, work, they need to be given equal opportunity.
Let's take a breather and we'll be right back with more. Don't go too far.
Differently abled, differently.